right? Don't disrespect.
All right. We are back. The Backpack Boys. Putting it down his throat. The Backpack Boys here. Uno mas tiempo. Yo soy Guy. Oh, I almost just said my fake name because my real name's Ootsie Gootsie. And I'm
And
from.
it's your boy Scudda, and yeah, we're gonna continue this podcast this week. We missed a week, but we're coming back strong. We had to take a brief break, but we're back.
We're back.
Back in action.
Well, not all of us are back. Unfortunately, other members of the team weren't able to make it today. So we're going to try to keep that energy, that 4-person energy, in 2 people a shorter amount of time. I know you guys have been asking for that. So we're gonna make that happen. But you guys, hold on. Don't you want to cry sometimes with the support we get?
I mean, it's very emotional for me. It's moving.
Give me a sec.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me a
the
sec.
amount the amount of the amount of people that tune in, week after week is, yeah, it does. It definitely shakes the heart a little bit. But
You guys, we love you so much. Thank you for showing us love. So today's topics. First topic coming from Clara from Kansas. Clara gave us trash. Thank you,
yes,
Clara, for the word trash. Can't wait to talk about it.
yeah, and we have from Argentina, we have a person named Carmichael, and he gave us the word cigarette.
Cigarettes. Thank you, Carmagel. That's how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Carmichael, sure.
Carmagel.
And then the third word,
Third word, I believe, was cartoons from Fiona?
cartoon from Fiona.
From Artisano. Wow.
Yes,
Thank you, Fiona,
the
from
light,
Artisano.
the wife of Lord Farquaad, if we want to point that
I'm
out.
glad you caught on to that.
Yeah.
Scudda, tell me about the time you smoked a cigarette and loved it.
Well, one, we just skipped trash altogether.
We
But
did, but
two,
I felt like talking with.
I'll go.
I felt like
I'll
smoking a
start with
cigarette.
cigarettes. I personally, in my life, have never had a cigarette touch my lips while it was lit.
Lies.
I've definitely put a cigarette in my mouth, but it was never lit. So I've never actually
How does that
inhaled
happen?
from a cigarette.
How does that
Because,
happen?
well, both of my parents, not my mom anymore, but my father still a smoker. They were smokers when I was younger, and sometimes they'd be around the house, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I want to just put it on my mouth," but I never had the gall to light it and actually smoke it.
To actually light it.
I just wasn't interested in that. But I know that there's an attraction to the act of smoking. Not just from the actual nicotine addiction, but just the action itself is something that
There's a
people want to do.
societal, yeah. It looks cool to smoke. It really does.
I didn't believe that until there's people in my life that have literally said to me, "Oh no, I thought it was always cool, and that's why I smoke cigarettes." Is because the reason I started was because it actually looked cool when I was younger, and I was like, "Wow, dude, I really thought that's what they just said, and it was actually true because I never thought of someone
Yeah, I feel
smoking
like you're
cigarettes cool."
completely on the other end. Like, do you find it sometimes looking cool for some people, or never? It's just always been kind of.
For me, I've always had the mentality of like, that person's not cool. They think they're cool,
Yeah,
but they're really just damaging their body.
that's very
Even
true.
when I was younger, like I would not want my parents to smoke weed. Even though I didn't understand that they were doing damage to their body, I wasn't like, because one, I've always been like this with everything, like alcohol, everything. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like I would get secondhand smoke from my parents smoking. I'm like, I'm coughing and it fucking tastes and smells like shit. Why is this something you would want to do over and over again? The same thing I think that I've had the opinion with alcohol is like, it doesn't even taste like something I would want to drink. So
That's the
like,
insane thing. I think like for all of those things, maybe there's a select few. Let me not speak for everyone, but none of those things taste good. And I think really like, is it just the fact that it's something cool to do that makes people go beyond the point where it actually can become something they enjoy? Like, cause that shit, I've dabbled in both areas, and
Well,
they both
well,
taste like shit still till this day.
from what I see is I think drinking is way more of like a social thing. Like that's way more incorporated into like parties and socializing with people of your age when you get older, even if in high school or whatever. But to me, smoking has always been a loner thing because if you're not doing it at a party, you're not like when you're not smoking at like a party or something like that, and you're just like, hey, you just like, living your regular life. You wake up, you go have a cigarette. You're just standing outside by yourself. It's not like everybody in the house goes out and has a morning cigarette. So
Yeah.
the only time it's like a communal thing is when you're actually with a bunch of people and they all are smokers.
Yeah.
And then that's when people will have the occasional cigarette because I know plenty of people that don't smoke
Yeah.
when they're not around people who are smoking. But like I'm talking about the people that like legitimately need to smoke regardless. And I think that's how I look at it. They're like they're doing it as a lonely activity. Like every time I used to see people smoke at like work, they would go outside and just smoke a cigarette by themselves
Yeah.
and like
It's like me time. Yeah, it's like their way of just like
yeah, me time. Like a little relax, a little break.
yeah, it's like a little excuse just to like get out. But is it? Do you think it's, if you don't mind us going deep on your end? Well, not really deep, but like I know you both your parents smoked, right? Growing
Yeah.
up, um, I would think that seeing your parents smoke, you would kind of grow up to want to smoke. Is that kind of a fair assumption?
To be honest,
With
me
most
having
people, not you, but like, is that a fair assumption to assume most
well,
people that
well
happens? Kind of.
that's what I'm gonna say. I think it depends if your parents are honest with you or talk to you about it. Because if your parents just do something and observe it, but never actually explain it to you, and you just observe it, then you would probably take that like the the action yourself and do it. Like you would learn from them and then just apply it to your own life. But my parents were very upfront with me, telling me like, "Oh, we don't like this. We shouldn't be doing it. It's bad for us, but we're doing it anyway." So in one way, I could have taken it and say, "Well, they're doing it anyway. I could do it too. Well, fuck it." Or I could actually listen to them and like trust that they're telling me not to do it. And I think that's how I took it. But I have, my brother who took it the other way, where he's like, "Oh, I think my dad looks cool when he smokes cigarettes." So regardless, even though I know it's bad and everybody my whole life is telling me not to do it, I'm gonna, I want to do it. Even though my brother's never really, he might have smoked a cigarette, but he does the pens, the jewels or whatever. And yeah, I mean that's even a whole nother conversation. If like, how safe are those things? And like, dude, like you think about it, they say history repeats itself. It's like back in the day, they say, oh, kids used to start smoking when they were like 12, 13, 11 years old. And I feel like it's getting to that point again, except they're not smoking real cigarettes. They're smoking the e-cigarettes because I've talked to a kid.
They're doing that in Europe. They still smoke super young. I was talking to
Oh
my,
yeah, yeah, for sure. For
yeah.
your, it's super European, but they do everything young because there's no stigma behind
They
it.
also don't brush your teeth. Thanks, Europeans, for that.
You're just gonna insult an entire
That's what I
part of the
heard.
world.
I've never been. I've never been, but I hear your teeth disgusting. Brush, brush.
But yeah, there's no stigma behind drinking or cigarettes because it's introduced at a young age. But I'm talking about in the United States, there's fucking little middle school or fifth grade 11-year-old kids that are like, let me get my vape because it fucking is literally so accessible to
That's
them. Like,
insane.
dude, and it's going back to like history repeats itself. It's like kids used to smoke cigarettes back in the day because it was easily accessible. Like my mom used to tell me, oh, I could go to the store and buy a pack of cigarettes for my mom and there would be no questions asked. So you could just keep those cigarettes for yourself and smoke them.
Yeah. And I'm not like an addict of any sort. Like again, I've dabbled. I snazzled in the e-cig um, world, and that shit ruins your lungs for certain. Imagine doing that at a young age. You're not having lungs by the age of
Do you,
15. Like
now
there's gonna be
that's my question for
serious
you.
issues.
I don't know this, but do you know what the actual like recovery, even for regular cigarettes, the recovery time or like
Is
how
there
it
a
works?
recovery time? I genuinely feel like, because I haven't done that in over a year. I'm lying slightly, but not how I was, and I definitely still feel. Then again, I've always had asthma as a child, so I don't like. I've always had.
But I
I'm
want to
not the
know if
best
there's
tester.
like I want to know if there's like a reverse that you could actually do. I mean, I guess
I
you can
hope
only
so.
do it.
I hope so.
And I don't know, but do e-cigarettes like produce tar in your lungs? Like I don't even know what they do to your lung.
What is it
What is
again? It's like vegetable oil or something just going down your throat and just
it?
frying the inside of your lungs, bro.
Unicorn piss or whatever they say it is, the
Yeah, I
flavor.
think it's that one. I don't know. Yeah, definitely does damage. Can it recover? I really hope so because one day I do aspire to run a marathon, and I hope e-cigs don't stop me from doing so. But I don't know. Um,
What about nicotine,
Now I'm
dude?
kind of craving it though.
What do you think about nicotine, dude? Nicotine as a drug, dude, because that's really why people do it. That's why
There's
people smoke. That's why people do smoke e-cigarettes. It's because of the addiction to nicotine, dude.
false. So the addiction actually comes to the additive chemicals in um, cigarettes. Nicotine isn't as addicting as other chemicals that are in cigarettes.
Really?
Nicotine is addictive in some manner. Like for me, it's been easy to not smoke the e-cig because of that. Like I don't feel the need to do it. It's more of a habit. Like just, it's like a fidget spinner almost, but I'm just burning my lungs kind of thing. But
So you think it's more routine than actual craving of like that nicotine? It's
yeah,
more of
it's
like
like
a
a comfort
routine
thing.
thing.
Yeah, it's like a kid who like sucked on their thumb. Like that just made them feel comfortable, and then they just developed a habit from that. I think that's really. I
So
think
I
there's
feel
a,
like then, so then I feel like I have experienced that in like a different way by like having food or something would give me
yeah.
that like stimulation of like, oh, this makes me feel good. So, but if that really is what it is, then it there has to be a combination of both because it can't just be habit that is keeping you there.
I mean, you get there's like a physical, like you get a reward, you get a mini high, like you get like a nicotine high from it. I'm not saying it's not addictive, but like comparatively to like the other chemicals that are in the cigarettes, that's not like really the component that there's actually like apparently neurological benefits to nicotine. Obviously, when dosed correctly and used correctly, but yeah, I think it is habit because dude, masturbating. I do that like when I'm bored. I'll go masturbate. It's something to do. It's literally something to do. At social media, it's something to do. You know,
No, it's
it fills in gaps. It's a way to fill in gaps.
it fills in voids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So in an e-cigarette, like they say the damage comes from inhaling the toxins in a real cigarette, like the actual chemicals, getting the tar in your lungs. That's where the damage, the cancer, and all that shit comes from. Is actually the poison that's in a cigarette. What is it? Where does the damage come from an e-cigarette? Because I that's the thing I don't understand. If an e-cigarette is technically supposed to be cleaner, what makes it cleaner? But you're saying with your experience that you also have like negative side effects
I mean, yeah,
from them that you really
you're
just
inhaling something hot. One, you're inhaling something. Nothing really should be inhaled. And you're inhaling something hot, so that's not going to be good for your lungs. And then you're also, I think it's like the metals. If it's like a cheap vape and they don't use appropriate metals, the metals are getting burned. If they don't use appropriate plastics that like get burnt at a certain temperature and they get burnt earlier or under that temperature, then you're also inhaling those plastics.
so it's more about like not having the best equipment rather than the actual like act of vaping. It's more of like if you had like the most expensive shit with the best fucking technology, would it technically be like a okay, safe, completely
I'm
okay?
talking like I know stuff. I don't.
Well, I don't know anything. I just know that you know a little bit more than I do, so I figured I'd
But
ask
I'll
if you
continue acting confident and
know.
yeah, I think so. I think that's why
Oh
people are
shit.
getting cancer. So keep vaping. Just get good quality stuff, kids. 11-year-olds out
which
there.
which they can't get, dude.
That's true. They can't afford the
11-year-old.
good medals. No, we don't promote
We
the
should
use
start
of
a
nicotine on this channel.
we
Only
should
weed.
we should start a GoFundMe. Get the kids the right equipment.
Get the kids the right. That's kind of. I wonder if that's the case, and then that's actually something like I don't know because they do that in like they do that here. No, like heroin addicts who want to like don't they like to
They
prevent
just
people from like sharing needles and shit? They'll give them like
I don't no
they'll
no 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 no. I don't think they give them the
heroin. Yeah, I'm
if
pretty sure.
if they're in rehab.
I'm just gonna talk confident this whole podcast.
Yeah, but if they're but I don't think that people on the
No, I
street
think they have like places where people could go and they could
just
I don't
get
know
their
this.
fix.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Just because I think it's a bigger issue sharing needles because then you spread
You
someone cut me
you
off. Someone, that's why we need the other two members to step in.
yeah, you probably spread disease more likely if you're sharing needles, but I don't think that there's like a government fucking run thing that says like pick up your heroin needles here just so we
No, I really think there is. Maybe I think there is. We should look it up.
I don't think so. I don't think I need to look that up. I
Heroin.
think
I'm gonna search. Let's see.
okay, search.
Let's
But
search it.
for me it
Where
would,
can I get heroin?
you're about to get fucking raided by the FBI. But to me, it wouldn't make sense to give people needles or something. But I know that if you go to rehab and you're recovering, they'll give you a pill that will give you a similar high, and they'll give you a less and less dose of it as time goes by, so until they wean you off it, so you don't have to suffer through the withdrawals. But I really don't think they care about the health of your blood and stuff if you're deciding. And I mean, regardless of that, most heroin addicts are not like actively thinking like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna go down the street to get a safe needle today. I think they just want to get it in their body as quickly as possible.
Um, I don't know. I don't know because I think I've heard maybe not in this country, but I think it exists somewhere where there's like a place where you'll get clean needles, you'll be able to get your fix. Just a safer way of doing things. But let's go on the discussion of addiction and how I don't know. Well, I've never been to a rehab center, so I wouldn't be able to really speak on it. But from how do you think people overcome addiction? I think maybe there's too much of a focus on like weaning off a drug, but then I feel like people that get in that situation are there because they have like a void of some form
Well,
in
I
life.
think I think that see, I have no experience with an addiction or rehab, but if I were to speak based on how I feel or think it would be, I think that there probably is some type of mental illness that they can't figure out how to deal with it, and that's maybe what leads them to addiction, or a traumatic event that makes them try something, and then maybe the drug takes over at that point and they become addicted to that thing, and then they can't escape it, and it becomes, like we said, a safety net, like a cigarette, like they makes them feel a certain way. And then the way that I think rehabs work, and I think the only way that actually works from getting clean and not being a drug addict anymore, is if you're the drug addict themselves is the person that actually wants it to happen. If you're forced into rehab because you got arrested, or you're brought there by family members or people that care about you, but you don't want to be there and you're not really ready to get clean,
Yeah,
I think the second that you get out of there, you're gonna go and relapse because it's not your decision. And I feel like that's where the hard part is. It's like people have to get to that point where they need to make that decision for themselves and then actually put the effort in to get clean. But I think that applies to like everything in life. Like you have to understand that the control that you have, like in anything in life, and then be the person that makes shit happen. So if you want to get clean, you have to understand that no matter how much support and love you have, you're the actual only person that can actually make it happen, regardless of how much people love you, regardless of how much people will spend money on you or do for you or bring you to places. If you are getting the rides to the AA meetings and all that stuff, but you're not taking it serious, you're never gonna overcome it. So I think a lot of it lies with the person overcoming
I
it.
I say yes and no, absolutely. Like at the end of the day, it ends on the person and like what they want to do and how they, yeah, they need to change themselves. But I think like I sometimes don't even want to, like, this world kind of sucks. This the world we live in kind of fucking sucks a lot. Like
I don't think it kind of sucks. I think it really sucks. Like I think that there's so much negativity and so much unanswered questions that we really don't even have the information to get to us when we want it or need it, that there's so many things that any on any given day I could fucking just lose my mind and think about forever and just feel hopeless and useless and worthless in an instant. And I mean, yeah.
is that because we're void of what though as a society? We're void of with spirituality, like kind of a conversation we've had in the past, just kind of this idea of self-knowing, knowing thyself, and kind of a like where does that stem from? Why is it because we're focused on materialism as a society and we put importance on things that really don't matter and we kind of stray away from real
I
connection and community?
I don't feel like people know what the right thing to care about is. I don't think anybody has the answer to like what the right thing to put your energy towards, but we're taught that we're supposed to put our energy towards something that makes us
But
feel
maybe
happy.
that's the thing though, is that
Like
we're
what's the
taught
point?
that we're here to find that thing, but maybe it's as simple as we already know what that thing is, but we're kind of conveyed different messages and we lose focus on it. It could be as simple as what really matters. I think is like connection. I think at the end of the day, I could be super successful, and this is just from my minimal experience on this earth. I could be super successful, but I'm some like loneliness is one of the hardest things, and not feeling part of a community and having a connection with anyone or being able to share these successes with anyone is probably.
I agree.
So
I think
maybe
if
it's as simple as that though.
I think if I boil down my life, I think at the end of the day, the most important thing to me are good, healthy relationships with people that I care about and love. And if I didn't have that and I had everything materialistic I want, but I didn't have any relationships or careful people that I care about or care about me in my life, I feel like I would be fucking empty inside and I would feel like I'm dead already. So I much prefer the relationships and the connections with people. I think that that is, from my experience, what is the most valuable thing. But then you have to look at it in our the way that we're raised and the thing that the society that we grow up in. It's like you need to. We're not taught to value those things. It just kind of is supposed to be that way. And then some people don't value those things, and like you see it all the time with people that are successful, that they'll work their on their craft, they'll put themselves first, they'll always focus on themselves, and then by the time that they become successful of what they've been working their whole life at, they have lost all the people that matter to them because they've put other things higher priority, and then they have no one, and then they're sad, but they thought that they were working towards what they was going to make them happy, but they realized that they missed those connections, those relationships. So it's finding a balance, I think, of both.
Finding that community that brings you to where you want to be, just surrounding yourself with the
Yeah,
like-minded people, I guess.
yeah.
You know what my question is though? Something that I kind of hate is like, what's your opinion on family? Is family like, no matter what, like you're supposed to back your family? Or, so, how I feel, oh shit, we're
Oh
posting
yeah,
these public now. Sorry,
I'll
fam,
let
love you.
I'll let you
Um,
go.
um, I I've lost connection with a lot of extended family, like cousins and stuff like that, and they kind of say, oh, you know, family's everything, which I think is a really cool code to live by, and I kind of want to, but like, do I really feel like sometimes supporting my family that hasn't been in my life or supported me? Am I gonna cry at their funeral just be like I never understood that. Like I don't know. Like you don't have a connection with someone. I don't care if you're family or not. Like you're just another human being.
So here's how I view it. I think one I don't view it uh like if they're dead, am I gonna feel this way or am I gonna miss them? I think family, when you're born and when you grow up, you're taught that that is like where your trust can be, and you can believe and trust in your family to and those relationships to matter to you. But as I've grown up, and I think we've talked about this similar with your parents, you learn that, your uncles, your cousins, your like for me, all those people were automatically when I was a kid the best people. Never thought anything ill of anybody in my family, extend or anything, because I was just that's my family. But when you grow up and you understand that, they're people as well as, your family, and people do mess up things, and there's certain things that you might not like about how people behave or how people do things. I personally don't believe in the idea of loving family unconditionally, but I do believe that family does get a it's like family gets an extra chance to like be in your life. Like if I have an uncle or cousin, and there's nothing specific here, but if I have an uncle or cousin and I feel like there's no value brought to me by this relationship, just like I would to any other person, I probably would distance myself. But if that person then made an effort to me, and because they're family, I would then try to reconnect with that person. If it was a random person that's not connected me through family, I feel like they wouldn't get that chance because I had already made up my mind. But I think family gets that extra chance to make that connection because they're family. But I'm not of the
I
belief that
get that, but
I'm not
then
of the belief family is it's like they say the whole thing of like you can't choose your family, you're just born into it. I'm not of the belief that you have to unconditionally love family and you always have to support and be there for family, especially if it doesn't feel reciprocated. Like I feel like you have to manage those relationships individually as you would any other relationship in your life. And I think it's unfair for people to come to you and say to you, hey, I'm your family member. You should automatically care about this in my life, or you should be reaching out to me to see how I'm doing when that phone doesn't ring your way ever. Like having that expectation for you and not holding themselves to that expectation is wild to me. Like you can't expect that and not give it.
but at what point where is it like, all right, you're asking me how I'm doing. I'm asking you how you're doing. I don't like talking to you. Like I don't enjoy our conversations. Like at what point do you just stop that? Like there isn't there
But you can.
don't
That's
you
the
have to
thing. You just
enjoy the person's company? I'm saying like what you're saying like yeah, we could check up on each other, but I don't enjoy your company. Like why do I have to want
you
you in
don't
my
have to.
life?
But that's the thing. You don't have to want them in your life. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying ultimately, I think that you make the decision, but I'm saying I believe family gets that extra chance that regular relationships won't. But at the end of the day, if there's nothing there for you in that relationship, it will end up only hurting you long term by trying to make. I'm a big proponent of not maintaining a lot of like tertiary relationships that are not strong. I focus on the fucking strong relationships I have.
I'm gonna need you to repeat that word one more time. What'd you say?
Tertiary relationships. I don't even know if I'm
You
using the
tried
right
to
word.
slide. You tried to slide through
Is that
that
right or wrong?
Hershey Park. What'd you say? Hershey?
I thought well, what I'm saying is I'm not good at maintaining relationships with people that I don't have a deep connection with in some way. I'm
No.
not good at me like I don't have a lot of friends that are not fucking like people I can call and rely on. Like I don't have friends that just like I talk to
About
once every six
chicken.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't just have like those random like so. I guess I'll just say it in a different way, like social media friendships and shit. Like where I
No, there's
follow
like
you,
surface
but like
level. Yeah, there's like you talk about only sports, and then there's I
Yeah,
could talk to
I
you about
can't
anything.
I cannot maintain those relationships well. I've never been able to maintain those relationships well. I always end up looking like a dickhead most of the time in those relationships because I literally make it very clear that I'm not putting effort. And then I've felt guilty in the past for not putting that effort in, but then I've learned to realize, through the help of some friends that that I should not probably be so hard on myself
Um,
for those feelings.
yeah, man. What's the most disgusting thing you've thrown in the trash?
The most disgusting thing I've ever thrown in the trash.
Yeah.
Who?
Top five. Let's go top five.
I don't even know if I can think of one, but
What,
let me.
what do you think's the stankiest thing? Okay, it doesn't have to be your experience, but what do you think's probably the most disgusting thing someone could throw in a trash can? Like, I feel like there's rules to a trash can. It's either
Okay, like
like
are we
there's
talking
still some
about?
etiquette
All
to
right,
throwing
wait, let's
something
go.
in a trash can.
Okay, let's speak about this. Are we talking about like the household trash can that just sits in the kitchen?
I'm even talking public
Are
New
we?
York trash can. Like, I don't think you should be able to throw doo doo in a trash can.
No, I think that's fine.
Doo doo?
I don't care if I don't care if it's a community trash can. Throw anything in it.
Your
Because
office is 100 yards away. Doo doo, human shit that they don't bag up.
don't care.
They just cup it up, toss it in.
Yeah, don't care.
Do not care. It's bringing
No.
flies. It's on your Funko Pops.
Don't care.
It's on your Funko Pops.
I don't care.
Now it means something to you.
No, I don't care. I don't care. I think any community trash can, throw out anything gross in it besides human body parts, and I'm okay.
Okay,
The
so
problem
human
is-
body parts are the limits for you.
Yeah, I don't think that you could be doing
You
that
could
kind of
throw
shit.
anything else in there.
Yeah, as long because that shit gets cleaned out every single day.
All right, let's put
For the
ourselves
most
in the perspective of the garbage man, though. Like, fuck that. Like, they
From
have.
what from what I understand, the garbage men get paid very well, and I'm talking
Stretch, but they get paid
Very well.
pretty well. Back when I was considering a change in careers, I think they get paid like 15 an hour starting off, and that was now it's probably higher, but
No, that
That was
seems
pretty
kind of low to me.
impressive.
That seems kind of low.
that
to me.
was high back like to just start off. That's just like
That's like minimum wage now.
yeah. I'm saying it's more now, but
No, I think community garbage cans you could throw out whatever. I don't think people do care about the garbage men at all. I think that people throw. I mean, even so, that's what I'm saying. Are we talking about garbage that's gonna sit in the house, that like is gonna be like in the kitchen of your house? Like, what is not okay to throw in there? And then are we also talking about what's okay to put at your curb for the garbage man to pick up?
fair.
'Cause-
Okay, hold on. A thought came into my mind though. You know those babies in movies that are laid on people's porch, and they just leave the baby.
Yeah, like the people that like bring their baby to a church and just drop them because they don't want.
Is that a thing? That's happened before? Like, where did that even? Is that just movie or is that
the
something
first
that's actually
the
happened?
first thing that popped in my head is that movie called Mr. Robinson, Meet the Robinsons, the little kids movie where they go back in time and he sees the kid get dropped off on the porch out of an orphanage.
Yeah, where'd that concept come from? I hope that's not real. I hope there aren't babies just being fucking.
Well, I don't know if it's real, but I would probably bet my life on it that it has
Okay,
happened.
you open your door, you see a baby outside in a thing. Are you closing that door back up? I
No.
might.
I'm not closing the door up, especially what's the weather conditions? Is it hot? Is it gonna die if I don't bring it in the house? Is it cold?
You have. You could give it water and then walk in. Like,
If I see a baby, if I open my front door and there's a child sitting there in a carriage,
in
I'm not gonna-
a Gucci carriage,
in a Gucci
well
carriage,
ventilated,
I'm
carbon
still-
fiber.
Then I'm gonna leave the baby and take the carriage and sell it on eBay.
There you go. There you go. The real
No.
Todd. The real Todd. Come
No,
on.
I'll take the baby in regardless of because one,
And keep it.
if no, I'm not gonna keep it. The first thing I'm doing is
All right. What
calling
if
the
it was
police
like it came
and
with a note? You take this baby, you must keep, and it's like you literally the second
That doesn't
you
mean
take
I
it
have to
in-
do it. I don't have to listen.
No,
to
no,
a
it's
random-
like a magical spell. Like you, no matter what you do, you literally try to chuck the baby off into the ocean. It comes back to your front door.
So then I have to keep it regardless.
No, if you accept it, like you read the note.
Okay, but you're just saying I threw it into the ocean.
Oh my, no. Like your first decision was to take the baby in, right?
Okay.
That decision ignited the spell. Now it's your baby forever.
Do I get to name it?
Of course, yeah, it's your baby now.
It's mine, dude.
What are you naming it?
Girl or guy?
I thought Cuddle was universal.
No, Cuddle's girl.
Cuddle's girl. All right, guy.
Nitrous or cold?
Cold?
Cold, yeah.
The temperature?
Yeah, cold. Cold.
That's stupid. That shit's stupid.
Excuse me, dude?
I am not that.
Do you want
stupid.
Do you want to be my fucking kid's godfather?
I'm guaranteed the godfather. You know what's gonna happen.
Not if you're gonna call him stupid.
You know what's gonna happen if I'm not the godfather.
Nothing.
To your head, and they grow up without a father.
And your kid is gonna grow without a father.
What were we talking about? Trash. Okay, yeah. So indoor trash. What's not okay to throw inside your house?
Wait. Before we do this, let's go back to the baby thing. Yes, let me just explain the whole scenario. If the baby is left on my porch, I'm gonna take it inside, call the police. If the police don't want the baby, I'll take care of the baby. Okay, but I'm not talking about a magical spell.
It's not
baby.
magical. That's real.
Okay, I read the note. It says this is
the
your
second you take it, it's your child. Yes.
Okay, fine. Then I'll just.
Do you actually want to read what it says on the note, though?
No,
it's
no,
more of a
I
riddle. You bring the child in, you will win, but you must bring it in, or you will win. All right, go ahead. What?
Okay, but I'm okay. Fine. If I told you already, if the baby has a note and I have to take care of it, I take it in. Yes, I'll take care of the baby if it's magical. If it's not magical and it's real life, okay. I'm never gonna blame the baby. Okay, that's the one thing I won't do.
Who's blaming the baby? He grows up to be 18. It's all your fault.
No, but I'm saying I'm not gonna blame the baby. So I'm not gonna let the baby suffer because whoever dropped them off on my the baby didn't walk and drop themselves on my front porch.
That's true.
So
I mean, what if it cried a lot? It kind of is. That's the reason it got dropped off, though. So it's kind of its fault.
No, that's whoever the people that had the baby's fault. They didn't understand.
Why does the baby get no responsibility though for any of its actions? I don't get it.
Because a baby, that is what the idea of having a child is. You expect you understand when you have a kid, the second that you decide to make that decision to have a child, you understand that you're completely putting yourself in the back seat in life. And this is the way I look at it. If you decide to have a kid,
that's insane. That's so scary. I do not want a child. Oh my goodness gracious.
But that's the thing, dude. You're not ready to have a child. One day you might be ready to have a child.
I don't think I'll ever be.
Maybe.
I think it will be very accidental. I think I will not expect it, and I'll be like, oh fuck, I guess I gotta mature now.
It's not about being mature. It's just you have to be. That's the problem. If people
to think about the baby before me. Psych! If it's the last fucking Danimals, I'm drinking that shit.
Yeah, but you can't even get in a real relationship with someone unless you're ready to put yourself.
That's not true. You could have a. Not everyone wants a kid. Not everyone wants a fucking.
No,
kid.
I'm not talking about a kid. I'm talking about you have to be able to, in some capacity, to compromise. You have to be able to be willing to sacrifice
some components. Yes,
to be in a healthy relationship. So you already have a lower degree of that full giving part of yourself to make that other person part of your life. If you do it with a baby, you have to understand that baby is gonna die. You literally will kill the baby will die without you. So if you're having a kid, you have to be of the mindset okay, this baby needs you have to think, if I want to go out to dinner, I have to bring the baby. It can't just stay here.
You know what's crazy? Let's get deep with it, You're saying you become selfless. You become more compassionate to this other person, right? But the way I see it is really, the reason you're in a relationship in the first place, or why you are attracted to someone, is because you see yourself or aspects of what you want yourself to be. So really, it's kind of a selfish act in the first place. So are you really attending to someone else, or just another aspect of yourself? Are you nurturing yourself in this process? Just like this baby, you take care of it.
Of course. Wait, of course.
Because it's yours. So it's not really a selfless
relationship. A relationship is give and take. Of course, a relationship, you're not expecting, and when you enter a relationship, it will never be a good relationship if you're expecting only to be the person that gives, and the other person just
I'm saying
receives.
the giving isn't really giving to someone else. It's really just giving to yourself.
How?
Because you're attracted to a person that the way I see it, attraction is, I think when I am attracted to someone, it's because it's a quality I see or want for myself. And that's why I'm attracted to
Okay,
them.
but let me put it this way. Let's just say not in a real relationship. We'll say for me and you, our relationship. If you see me one day get hurt and you bring me to the hospital and you spend the night with me and you spend the next couple days coming to see me at the hospital and you're there every day to see me to make sure I'm okay, you're making a decision to put me as a priority in that instance. And reverse, if the same thing were to happen to you, I would then sacrifice my time to make sure you're okay in that same thing. And then if you put that in a relationship with a female.
But my point is, our relationship is the same thing, though. The reason we're friends is because we relate. It's just parts of ourselves. It's like we're like reflections. You're a part of me.
Wow, okay, wow, dude, I'm about to cry right now. What?
Tear up.
What?
I'll give you a
What?
minute.
I'm a part of you? Whoa.
That's why friends are friends, though. It's like they're parts of each other. Like we get along because we have like you're
I'm,
basically a
but
part of me. So it's
but
isn't
I'm
really I'm
I'm
just
trying
saying
to
it's not
understand.
really it's really a selfish act because at the end of the day you're taking care of yourself.
I don't think it's selfish, dude. I think that there's times in your life where I've caused you more pain than positive, and you have been negatively affected by the fact that we're friends.
Are you talking about when you physically abuse me?
We could talk about physically abuse. We could talk about like where I've created distance between us with not the intention to hurt you, but it has offended you. And there's been times where I maybe felt offended by friends, but at that time when I continue to maintain that relationship, it's not because it's good for me. It's not because I'm getting something from it. It's actually hurting me. But there's a reason why it doesn't. You don't end that relationship. I don't think it's always. I don't think being friends with someone is always a selfish act. I think it can be very selfish, and I think that you can have a negative view to it. But I think a healthy relationship is understanding that you're dealing with another person who has needs, wants, and regardless if it's a sexual relationship or just a friendship, I know that, for example, in the beginning of COVID, when I didn't reach out to you to see how you were doing, you reached out to me and said, "Yo, that bothered me that you didn't reach out to me." And I could have been like, "Well, who the fuck are you, bro?" But no, I was like, "Oh wow, okay, you know what? He's my friend. He's right. I should have made him more of a priority. So I'm not gonna fucking go back and forth with him. He's right. I'm gonna apologize and then realize that I need to look at that part of our relationship and make sure I make a better effort so that I don't make you feel that way because I care about you." And that's me choosing, because I care about you, to sacrifice my own time and my own brain power to remember that fact about you and our relationship. And I think that extends, that gets elevated to a different level when you're in a relationship with a female that you want to marry. And if it's a healthy relationship, both people understand that there's give and take in a relationship, and they understand the sacrifices that are going to be necessary. And the second that there's an imbalance in the relationship is when it will get rocky. And if it doesn't stay balanced to some degree, and there's no communication to get it back balanced when it gets unbalanced, then the relationship will cease to exist at some point. But when you have a baby and you decide to have a baby, there's nothing a baby can consciously understand to give you back immediately. So it's 100% your effort and care and all that. Like in a relationship with two adults, it's 50-50. But when you have a baby, you have to understand that baby is not going to fucking do shit for you for years. You need to give
Yeah, fuck
all of
that.
yourself to
How
that.
how are we getting sold on this? That sounds fucking terrible. I'm good.
Yeah, but the reason why you feel that way is because you've never felt that love and connection. Imagine looking at someone that you brought into the world
But
that
whoa,
that
whoa, whoa, whoa. Ready? I challenge this because I think it's heavily influenced by like I think you could gain people who have adopted children have gathered or developed that love too. So that says
100%. You can do that
something.
too.
That says something for the story that's being told, though. Is like
No. Because it's the same concept. Regardless if it's your baby or not, if you make a decision to be the father or parent
oh
to a
yeah, then
child,
fuck that. I'm good.
whether or not it's yours or not, there's automatically that sacrifice and understand. Like
Why
if
do you want to do that?
I don't want to do
At
that.
what point in your life where you're like, hell yeah, I don't want to fucking take care of myself anymore. I don't want to.
It's not that you don't have to take care
I
of
want to
yourself.
wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning to fucking feed a baby. When do you ever? When does that decision come? When do you feel okay with that though?
I don't know.
Never.
I don't know.
Never. It happens accidentally every time. There's no way someone's
No
like,
way, dude.
I'm
No
putting
way.
myself in this. No one is saying that. I'll go to World War fucking one.
Listen,
Let's go.
listen. More people,
Recruit me. I'm not
More-
fucking. No.
more people, probably than more than likely. Oh no, I don't know how to say this, but I'll say this: there's a lot of people that end up having a kid, and they don't understand that aspect of having a kid, and they're irresponsible, and they're not ready to give up their own personal interests and sacrifice for the child. So the child ends up being undercared for and not valued, and so the kid grows up and then potentially without certain aspects or care or love in a relationship. Think about your own parents. I think about my parents. I realize now that when my parents were young and they had me, and we've had this conversation. We are our parents' whole lives, right? We like their lives just like revolved around us, and them growing up, them moving, them getting jobs. All of that was to make sure that we're okay. Now, do I necessarily believe my parents understood, because they had me when I was young, understood that they were doing that when they decided to do it? They probably didn't, but they were good people and good parents, and realized regardless of how they felt when it actually happened, they wanted to make the best. They wanted to do what the best was for their kids, and they wanted to accept that responsibility. And that's something that not everyone will
I'm saying, I have no doubts when I have that kid, like, it's like, oh shit. Then I have no doubts I will make every decision for that kid.
You're saying it's
But
never
you're
going to be
telling me
You're saying it's never going to be
yeah,
voluntary.
it's not going to be I want a child. I want that responsibility. And then I'm going to go have a baby. It's going to be like, I'm having fun. Out comes the baby. Then I will take on the responsibility.
See, that to me, that sucks.
That's a hefty decision, dude. That doesn't suck. I think I could be a great father now.
Yes, agreed. But I'm saying that sucks. That instead of being mature one day and saying, this is what I want now, or thinking that you'll be able to come to that conclusion one day, you're saying, fucking give it to me by accident. I guess I'll just figure it out from then. You can both will probably end up better, but you'll probably have more resentment towards the situation if you don't want it, if you never actually want it to happen.
I'll only have resentment if he doesn't become the next Lionel Messi. Then we'll have some trouble.
Well, you didn't become the next Lionel Messi, so I think it's on
True.
you.
That's because my dad played baseball, though.
Your dad trained you every day, bro. I was there. I saw it.
Saw it? What do you mean saw it?
I would drive by the park with my dad in his truck, and then all of a sudden I look to my right and I see little Gabriel Nunez.
Wait, are you actually serious right now?
Yeah, I've drove by our old middle school many times and seen you and your dad practicing on the field.
Holy fuck. That's actually what we used to do.
I know.
You're talking Monmouth, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I witnessed it. I was like, dude, that's why he's so good.
I didn't realize that.
I had conversations with my dad about it when I was a kid, vividly. I remember you watching. I was like, that is Gabe and his dad.
What? I've never heard that shit. My name's Uzi Kutsi, by the way. That's crazy. Yeah, y'all.
Cootsy.
Then
you started fucking smoking nicotine. Now you can't run.
I started caring about what people thought about me, and then I made that a priority, and now look at me. No one cares about me!
It's true.
Did we finish our conversation about trash, though? Let's
go back to
on...
Yeah, let's... So let's finish the trash. What's the number one thing that you can't throw out in the trash can at your house if the next step is not immediately removing it from the house and putting it outside? What's the thing? Like if
I guess a fucking bag of shit, obviously.
how often do you have a bag of shit unless you have a baby, which then you
I
always have bags
guess
of
then
shit.
like moldy cheese or like old food in the fridge.
That's the one thing, dude. That's one thing living now that I live on my own. Throw like I don't I don't like generate a lot of trash. So like the trash bag isn't really filled up, but I'm throwing like scraps of like fruit I cut up or something. And like 3 days later, I'm like, why the fuck does it smell like shit, dude? And it's because there's rotting food. I'm like, but I don't want to waste this garbage bag. But
It's not full.
it fucking smells so goddamn
You
bad.
should
And
get a
then
compost. You should start throwing your shit in there.
that's a good idea.
Go green. But yes, agreed. So I guess food out of the fridge. That's fine. That's fair. Do you recycle? Do you split your recyclables
I do recycle
properly?
I do recycle.
Do you believe in
Cardboard
recycling?
bottles. To be honest, I don't understand recycling at all.
I feel like
I
recycling is
I
like
think
the
it's
whole COVID mask thing. I don't
yeah.
know if it's like I just do it because it's
Yeah,
socially
yeah, right. It's like
acceptable. Like
I feel like you just trust that they're actually reusing the products. You don't actually know for sure, but you just like trust because you're doing the extra effort that they're melting these bottles down and you're reusing them. But do I know for a fact that it's happening? No, but I hope it is.
because don't they say what do they do though? Like they obviously separate it, or do they just say, "Oh fuck, this paper ended up
Cardboard,
with this. We gotta
cardboard,
mix it."
plastic. Yeah, I think that there's places that actually have machines that will separate
So why am I separating it, sir? The
because it
hell?
makes it easier.
I don't care. I do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love the earth. The earth loves me.
But let me ask you this: if there was one cartoon character that you would want to fuck, who would it be?
I've expressed this many times to my friend group. Have you guys seen the Goofy movie? I
No,
forgot her name.
I haven't
You
seen
know who
it.
I'm talking about or not? Yes, you have.
No, I haven't seen it. I don't. I can't vividly remember the Goofy movie.
Oh
What's her
my
name?
god. Should I go on the internet right now and show the world?
I'm gonna look up the Goofy movie
Maybe I'll
girl.
just get it on my phone, yeah. Let me Goofy movie. Just say Goofy movie girl, she'll pop up.
Goofy movie girl. I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna share my screen. Oh yeah, gate. Oh wait, I think I know exactly who it is.
I think you're gonna pick the wrong one. It's the redhead one.
The redhead one.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share my screen real quick. Share. You can see it.
Started screen sharing, not yet. Not yet.
You can't see
What the fuck?
that her.
Yo, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Goofy movie.
I typed the Goofy movie girl. I think that's the actress. So
Look,
that's who
she's right down there. She's right down
yeah,
there.
but so that's who you're actually interested in. By
Oh,
the way,
that's the
'cause
voice
that's
actress. Right there. She's right there. Look at that beautiful woman.
this one or this one.
Oh my god, right there. To your right.
This one?
No, to your
This
right.
one.
Yes.
This is your dream girl.
That's my dream girl. Y'all, if you look anything like this and you're above the age of 21, hit my line.
Oh wow, look at this. Forced Disney to apologize for making Roxanne way too hot in a Goofy movie.
I'm pretty
500
sure that's the first day I masturbated too. Like I genuinely.
Look how many people have signed, dude. It's going up as we're sitting here. 579. 1,000 signatures in this position is more likely to be featured or recommended.
Did you get a virus? I don't see the picture.
No, I didn't get a virus. Sometimes Zoom is whack, but wow, a Goofy movie. You think they'll ever make a live action Goofy movie?
I hope so.
So you can.
I'll audition for that shit. I'll be Goofy.
You want to be
I
Goofy?
just start groping her. I just keep getting out of hand.
Whoa, dude.
She's sexy. Anyways, how about you? Who would you
Let me stop that sharing. I mean, the standard answer for me when I was a kid was
don't say
always
it, Bugs.
not Bugs, but
The little girl Bugs, whatever.
oh yeah, Lola Bunny. I had a thing for Lola Bunny when I was a kid, but I don't know. I think have you ever seen the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
No.
You never seen Who Framed Roger
I think I
Rabbit?
might need you to screen share again. I don't know.
Let me look this up. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Or I think her name is Jessica Rabbit. This is another old movie, and yeah, let me share this.
Share.
Let me know when it pops up.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Did it pop?
Not yet. Move your mouse or something a little bit. Do
I'm
something.
moving. I'm moving. I'm moving.
Yeah, you've been lagging this whole time. It's all good. No worries.
It's okay. It's okay.
We're an audio podcast.
It's
Yeah,
really
no, I'm
not
not seeing
popping
it.
up.
No, it's not popping up. What is it? Who is it? What's it?
Jessica Rabbit. You can look it up.
I'll look her up. Out of 10, what is she?
For a cartoon, probably a 10.
You said
But you know,
Jessica
Rabbit.
Rabbit?
Jessica Rabbit. You know what I think is funny though? Both the girls that we
Have
that we
similar features.
they're redheads.
Yeah. Do you have a thing for redheads?
I don't know if I think I have a thing for like cartoon redheads, but I don't think I have like a real thing for like real life redheads.
Hmm.
Maybe cartoon redheads.
Is it
are my
because
thing.
no redheads actually as red as they need to be? So we just don't
You
appreciate them?
it's it's crazy is I did actually find what's her name, Ariana Grande, super attractive when she was on Victorious, when she had like that
When
red hair.
Interesting. So what do we associate red with? Like, I guess
I don't know, dude. That's crazy. Maybe there's something to like
promiscuity, maybe? We just
redhead.
assume they're crazy?
Yeah, I don't know that red but I feel like it has to be like a deep red. It can't be like like an orange.
What's the specific Crayola crayon red you're talking about right now?
I don't know the specific crayon, but I think it
Yeah,
has to be
she's
like a deep red.
pretty. And then her little leg exposed. She's Jessica Rabbit, you guys.
Yeah, dude. She's no she's no joke there.
If you were to, okay, I'm just gonna put her in the screen. If this was like a first date video chat, go ahead, go for it.
Oh,
You're at
oh,
dinner.
hi. Okay.
I'll be her.
Okay. Hi, Jessica. I really like the way your hair looks tonight.
Well, thank you, lover boy. You look quite good yourself.
Why did you say lover boy like that? Okay. What do you think you're gonna order tonight? You know, at dinner.
I'm gonna order the hard stuff, the big stuff, you know? The fried pickle. How about you, sweetheart?
The fried pickles. Oh, I heard they're good here.
Oh, I put that one deep down my throat.
That's
Sweetheart.
that's that's very forward, Jessica. Would you like any ranch or anything? Let me get you a drink or something.
Ranch.
To go
Do
with
I
that.
look like a ranch lady? I'm more of a blue cheese lady.
I don't know if that's gonna taste very good with a pickle, but we could try it. I mean, sure.
Oh,
I
baby,
could
we're
ask
gonna try it.
Why is she so she's so forward? First date, she's gonna be that sexual.
You dealt with that pretty well, bro. I'm proud of you.
Why is she so sexual?
You're set. You're set.
Why is she so forward?
She's a redhead, bro. That's what
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what I assume they do.
Is
That's
that-
why
is
we
that-
like them. That's why we like them.
redheads
Deep
are just
redheaded.
straight. Redheads are just straight in there.
Yeah. Wowie. Yo, did we keep it? I think.
No,
Where we
we're
at?
not done yet. We're not done yet because we need before we finish up. We need to talk outside of just having sex with cartoon characters. We need to talk about what
Regular
is
show.
what. No, not regular show. You know how I feel about that show, but what is the best cartoon that you've ever watched, and also what is the best cartoon ever made?
That's hard. That's hard. One, because I have depression and I don't really remember much of my childhood. And other because there's so many good ones. But Tom
Are you
and
into
Jerry,
anime?
I'm not. No. I
Okay,
want to be. I want to be, but I haven't gotten into it yet.
Neither am I. I'm not into anime at all. Never watched.
And I
any
feel like
anime.
those are too advanced level cartoons.
Yeah, that's not the same.
I wouldn't even consider Pokemon a cartoon.
There's no more?
I don't know what you're saying.
Milk.
There's no more.
Slight intermission.
Sorry. Pokemon is technically an anime, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like animes are like a different branch of cartoon. I mean, they're
it's like
cartoon-
Chipotle to fast food kind of thing. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the
So
upper echelon.
So I'm not going to consider any animes in cartoon, but I'm sure that I mean I've never actually sat down and dive into anime, but everybody says it's really good.
Yeah.
And maybe one day I'll have the discipline. But I've also seen like there's an anime that people will tell you to watch, and it has like 1,400 episodes. It's like, holy fuck, dude! I need to like commit like 3 years of my life to like this show
Are they
if I want to
short
enjoy it.
or are they?
I don't know. And the one time I watched Dragon Ball Z, I just couldn't get into it. It was like one fight scene that
Yeah.
never ended for 30 minutes, and then it went to the next episode, and they were doing the same
Thank
fight.
you
And I
for
was like,
bringing that up. Is this an anime? Airbenders an anime? Does it have to be? I don't want it to be.
I don't think
'Cause
Airbender.
that shit was the best. Okay, so I'll like break it. So when I was younger, I think Tom and Jerry was, and that's still it just brought, and it's like every Saturday morning I would wake up 8 o'clock. I would just put that on, and I would love it.
Yeah.
But fucking Airbender is probably the best plot where like
See, that's another
that
show I
shit
never
was-
got into, but I've always heard great things
you
about
gotta
that.
watch that shit. That shit's fire.
Airbender, I heard is really good. The whole Aang and whatever.
The Avatar, whatever the fuck. Did I say I
Avatar.
said Airbender or Avatar? I hope I said that
I
correctly.
think you said Avatar.
I'm
I
a
think you
real
said
fan.
Avatar.
I'm a real fan.
I think Avatar is widely known as one of the best shows from Nickelodeon. But like I look at like the
Hey
Simpsons.
Arnold too. There's so many good ones. No, The Simpsons not for me.
No, but I'm saying if you talk about longevity and what the best cartoon ever is, do you have to look at like
it's
the
not
Simpsons?
opinion, like statistics. I don't know. It's
Like the Simpsons has been on air and still has new episodes coming out to this day. You have Family Guy,
so
which
does
is very
SpongeBob.
similar. Again, that's the third one I was gonna say. SpongeBob. Now I'm of the opinion after like the first 4 seasons of SpongeBob, you could stop watching because that's when they got too dumb. But back in the day, original SpongeBob episodes, they were actually like funny, dude. Like they were like if you go back and watch like the original SpongeBob's,
Right.
they're not like now Patrick's literally but like they weren't like that back then.
We should take a year off of our life and just watch cartoons. Dedicate, right when we get rich from Dogecoin.
Yeah, I mean, regular show is probably my favorite cartoon that I've sat through every episode and I've enjoyed it the most. That's probably my favorite cartoon.
Wait, when we have fans, we're gonna be able to influence the fucking stock market. We're gonna be like, everybody invest in Dogecoin right
What do
now.
you mean? What do you mean?
We're-
When? What do you mean when, sir?
I mean, do we have a? Oh yeah, we have a ton of fans now.
Support pouring in.
Yeah, that's
dude.
true.
We
When
got
have even
emotional in the
more-
beginning.
When we have even more fans, we're gonna be able to influence the stock market in our favor. We're just gonna be like, hey, you guys, you should invest in this, and then we'll
I
just
don't know if-
we'll
I
just
don't know if we
sell
should-
at that point, and they
Well, I-
invest or whatever the fuck.
I don't
Fuck
know
our
if we should-
fans over. Fuck y'all.
I don't know if we should announce, our fucking
plot.
illegal activity.
So what's your top one? I'll give you.
So
top
when I was a
two.
kid, I fucking loved Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry. My dad watched it all the time. And then when I probably the cartoon I've enjoyed most as like an adult was Regular Show. But back in the day, I used to love Dexter's Laboratory. I used to love Hey Arnold, like all the old Nickelodeon shows I would love. The one show that I used to scare the shit out of me, and I don't know if I would watch it now and it would still scare the shit out of me, is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
I would have vivid nightmares.
Yeah.
Like if it was late night and I would wake up and I would turn on Cartoon Network and that shit was on, I would fucking
Dude, such
I
a
could've-
dark show.
such a dark show. But that's the thing. I think that's incredible that kind of show existed. Like I look now at what kids watch and like what their cartoons are. Like there's no variety. Like back in the day, dude, you had Hey Arnold, you had fucking Doug, you had Courage the Cowardly Dog. There was something for everybody. Ed and Eddie was like the stupidity.
Oh,
Like,
I love that. I love that show too.
there was literally so many good cartoons, and now you're just getting a lot of. It's kind of like the movie industry too. Is you're just getting a lot of reboots of like old. Like they're making a new
I
Rugrats.
feel like that's
Why are you
music
doing
too.
that?
Everything's just being the same. Everything's just they're making
Yeah.
a new Rugrats, like a Lifetime Rugrats, or like a
Like they did Rugrats, then they did Rugrats All Grown Up, and now they're remaking like
Rugrats College.
No, they're remaking the like baby Rugrats when they were children, but now they're like CGI animations. You never saw there was
That's
a
kind
trailer.
of fly though. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that.
There was a trailer. that
But
was
yeah,
released,
like
but-
there's no
but my point
originality
is-
anymore.
Yeah, dude, like let's take. I don't know who I had this discussion with, but like like even in like movies, like they only care about movies that are guaranteed to make money. They'll only put big money or money in general behind a movie that's like you have King Kong versus Godzilla, which is probably like the first, like I don't know, like the 12th movie with a King Kong or Godzilla plot. Why not take like why are they just forcing that down our throat? And it's because it's guaranteed to make them money. Why not take that money and invest in like small, like back in the day when I like you look at like the movies like Beverly Hills Cop, like where there's it's a great fucking movie, not a huge budget, but it's like a great movie. You don't see those kind of movies now. It's like if the fucking Rock is not in the fucking movie, it's not gonna do anything. If it's not Fast and the Furious, if it's not King Kong, if it's not a remake or reimagination of an old story, then
Yeah.
it's not being made. But back in the day when we used to watch movies, there would be original like National Treasure. That's like an original idea where they built that whole movie from the ground up. There's no where like when's the last time you saw a movie that was like that where it's like not a guaranteed hit.
Yeah, I think I've always thought that like, while I definitely think creativity, I think it's like a, I don't know. So like, in some ways, I want to. I think it's because art has become too expensive and people are pricing them overpricing themselves. But I wouldn't also say overpricing themselves because creativity and art is super valuable, and for the most part, it's probably it has art in general, or people having opportunities in art or just showing their creativity hasn't been really, like, people have been undervalued. But at the same time, it's like, I think we're coming up with this shitty thing, and we're not, like, it's super hard to make an independent film. It takes a lot of money because people are charging fucking a bunch of stuff for their services, this, that, and then
But people
you
used to
end up.
get that money. People like big like Hollywood cinema things would invest in those movies and give them a chance. They won't even do that anymore because if the movie flops, like they only take a shot at home run hitters.
Yeah, there's
That's why
yeah,
we're gonna
there's like no
see.
creativity because they're
Yeah,
scared to make the fucking jump.
like we just saw Mortal Kombat, dude. Why? Like, why is that? I don't need a Mortal Kombat movie, but that movie's gonna make money, so they're gonna make it. Like, we're gonna get a
Was it good
fucking.
though?
I watched it when I was in Kansas, and I'll tell you this: the effects in the movie were cool, amazing, the dope. Like, you got to see like the finishing moves,
Wait,
so
can
like
you
crazy
ruin the
shit.
whole movie for everyone?
I'm not gonna ruin the whole movie for anyone. But if you follow, you need to really understand. Like, I never played Mortal Kombat to the point where I understand all the characters and shit. But if you like are like a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan, I'm sure it'll be more enjoyable for you. But the acting was fucking terrible. Like I didn't think any of the actors did incredible. There was nothing, no one jumping off the screen. Um,
Expected.
but the actual like the action scenes, I guess, were cool and the CGI was cool. But I wouldn't say that it's a must see movie.
Would you
But
ever not accept an acting role? Like,
if I was an act,
I
like
try to put myself in that position. If I got only accepted for like a dollop of Daisy commercial, and that was like my way to, like, what do you do
well, I would never
if that's the
want.
only thing?
I don't want to be an actor. One,
I'm
so I would
saying, if you
probably.
were,
But
sometimes I feel bad for people that are in fucking
well, I mean, there's
Subway
so many.
commercials in the
Yeah,
back. Like, do they
but
go out of
there's
their way and work really hard for that, or how does that work?
to be honest, I don't know. But from my very brief knowledge of how it works, a lot of auditions and a lot of doing whatever you can, because most people that are trying to be actors need to do whatever they can to pay their bills to survive, and then they're hoping that one day they make that leap into like a real movie and they become super. Like you look at that show Schitt's Creek. That's like a
Shit's Creek. What?
that movie that, and I will heavily recommend that show to you if you haven't seen it.
Shit's Creek.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's very good, hilarious,
Okay.
and that show was a completely original idea that was not super funded, not put on a big network. But once it hit Netflix, it blew up into a huge thing, and then all the actors from that show started branching out, and now are doing like much bigger shows and
Right,
getting
but
much
that's
bigger
like
roles. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of actors, like those actors that got on that show, probably weren't like, oh, this is gonna be the reason
It's
why
not a
I
matter of it
get
being
that.
big. It's like there's it's a
I
dollop
think an
of
actor. I
Daisy.
think
It's like I could really like a storyline, and I could want to be a part of that. I don't mind that, but then it's like, what
well, I think
do
that I
people
think
work for a dollop of Daisy opportunity, or is
there
that
may
just
be
something? Is that
there
always
may.
something a stepping stone? Like, is that are we witnessing all those people in
I
their
don't
peak?
think I don't think anybody besides Jared from Subway, who's thankfully in prison.
Wait, what
I,
do you do? What do you do?
you don't know who Jared from what
I
Jared
know,
is?
yeah, but what he do?
He's like a
He lost
serial
too much weight.
pedophile, dude. He's like the biggest pedophile of all time.
Oh, so those were kids stuffed in his shirt.
I don't know, but yes, he's like a serial pedophile. That dude is.
Holy shit! Did not know that.
Yeah. Um, it's kind of not surprising, but anyway, if yeah, I mean, I would assume that people's end goal isn't to be in a dollop of Daisy commercial, and I would assume that most people are in those commercials are hoping that it's a stepping stone to something.
But is that doing anything for you? My point is, is that really
Yes.
doing anything for you besides giving you a paycheck? Is that like on your
Well, it builds
resume?
your resume.
Wow,
Yeah,
the
of
way
course.
you
Yeah,
lifted
of
the
course.
fucking dollop and spread it on that chip was fucking spectacular.
Yeah,
Let me
because
put you in the role of Jimmy in fucking Titanic 2.
yeah, but yes,
No.
yes, that builds your resume. That builds
For
your
real?
credibility.
That's valuable in that industry?
But I think in that industry, more than importantly than your actual acting ability is your connections. And maybe you're working on the Dollop of Davies commercial, and then all of a sudden, this producer or the director or someone that wrote the commercial gets a big opportunity, and they're working on a bigger movie. Maybe they're lesser of a part, but they know somebody, and they're like, "Oh, I had this guy do a Dollop of the Day commercial. Maybe he can come in and audition, and then maybe you have like a little head up." Potentially you might get the role over someone else because they know you. There's a previous relationship. You were very professional at your job. It's kind of like the real world too, but I just think the competition to become an actor is so fucking high. I've watched a podcast once, and it was a comedian who was talking about how he would go when he was like struggling, and he would tell his agent to just send him to any audition that he didn't fit the script. So like the script would be, they want a white Brad Pitt looking guy for a commercial selling for Folgers coffee, right? And the comedian that was like his name is Bobby Lee. He's a small, Asian man, and he's like, you know what, fuck it. He shows up to the audition, and everyone that's there looks exactly like Brad Pitt, white or whatever. But because he's funny, he's different, and they didn't even realize it. The way that he explains it, he's like, they automatically look at me and they're like, why can't a short Asian man chop wood for the commercial? Why can't a short Asian man and because he's funny, he makes the people laugh, he builds a good rapport with the people, he gives the people a good time. He got booked for many commercials. He said for a whole year he got like 15 commercial opportunities, which gave him enough money to survive so he can continue doing, stand up and all that stuff. And then eventually he got a bigger show, and then he was able to, build his career like that. But I think that, yes, most people will do that just to pay their bills. But hopefully that also gives them repetition.
So it's always a stepping stone.
Network. I would assume I don't think anybody's end goal, and this probably isn't the case, and I'm sure there is someone's end goal, is just to be on a fucking Dolph Daisy commercial.
We support your mission.
If that's the case, dude, post a comment and we'll make sure we'll do whatever we can
to promote you to get you that position.
Dollop of Daisy, bro.
We have connections. Dollop of Daisy, Daisy of Dollop. If you don't frolic, then you mollop. What's the end quote of the day? You got a Kobe quote for the peeps?
A Kobe quote.
Do you have a Todd quote? What's one thing you've learned thus recently, say, in this year, that has been meaningful for you? What's like a realization you've had?
Well, one, before I answer this, I just want to say happy birthday to Gianna Bryant, Gigi. Rest in peace. that is, Kobe's daughter, and I love Kobe, so that's my guy. So it was his daughter's 15th birthday when she fatally passed away with him in the helicopter. So pay her my respects and wish her happy birthday. And in the past year, something that I've learned, and I'm gonna go from the beginning of 2021 to now, is that it's very important and undervalued, in my opinion, the importance of taking care of yourself and your mental health. And I don't think a lot of people look inward enough, including myself. And I think I've tried to make that more of a focus of trying to sit without distractions and I guess some form of meditation, but more of about just sitting down, thinking, being with myself, and exploring my brain, how I feel about things, and being true and truthful to myself. I think that's something that I've definitely learned to value more this past year. So
What's something, because we had nothing here. What's something specific that you were struggling with and that you could say you have a better perspective on? Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say I was struggling with something, but I think acknowledging the the expectations in my head of life and what life should be and how life should be lived versus what is the reality and what I want to be the reality is two separate things that clash constantly with each other. And unless you check yourself, you can find yourself comparing yourself to others, um, putting yourself down because you feel like you might not be at a certain point, or you want to be, or you think that you should be further along in your life or your journey, or whatever aspect of life it is. I think understanding the difference between what's really important and what's important to what you see on a screen and what is you're being told is important is something that's very difficult and hard to balance. And I think that that's something that I've tried very hard to understand and be aware of.
Amen, y'all.
Amen.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Scudda. This is Uti
Scudda.
Tuti. Uti Kuti.
Uzi Kuti.
Thank
Shout
you,
out
guys.
shout out to our boy Killmonger, Wakanda Forever, and also shout out to our boy
A little baby assassin.
Little Babyface Assassin.
Babyface
You'll-
assassin.
Hopefully they'll be back next week. Also, the new Marvel movies got announced. Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Let's fucking go. Ready for that, 2022. And,
Not a
yeah.
clue. Not a clue.
Yeah.
And that's the Backpack Boys, y'all. Thank you
Backpack
guys so
Boys.
much for listening. We love you.
Put your backpacks on. Okay, please cut this
Now
out.